hear something like this. It makes you feel like it's some big, grand state occasion, a big wedding. Organ music just makes something feel that extra special.
And this weekend, the organ at Blackburn Cathedral is a focus of its own celebration. It's been there for 50 years. It was John Robinson, Director of Music at the Cathedral, playing there, and he's in the studio with us, along with another John, Dr. John Bertalot, the man who bought the organ in the first place. Welcome to the studio, chaps.
Good afternoon.
John Robinson, let's start with you. So many Johns here, you're going to get confusing, isn't it? What's it like to play?
Incredibly exciting, really. It's a brilliant acoustic, but the organ itself is just the most thrilling sound you can imagine. And in that acoustic it was designed for, it's a great thrill to play it week in, week out.
Tell us about its construction.
Well, it's laid out in a very exciting visual way around the building, but also laid out so that the sounds come at you in stereo from different sides of the building. So being there, you have to be there really to experience how that feels and sounds.
A little bit about you, because you're fairly new to the job here in Blackburn, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just been here for a couple of months.
Settling in nicely.
Very much so, thank you. Yeah.
So where did you come from?
I was working in Boston in America before that.
Wow. So how different?
Yeah, it's completely different, really. But this is like coming home, because I grew up in the cathedral music world as a cathedral chorister, and then as an assistant organist in various cathedrals, and then so coming here just feels like going home.
Well, let's bring Dr. Bertalot in. What did you want to create in the cathedral, and how did you decide which organ to install?
Well, when I came here way back in 1964, you're talking to living history, by the way, the cathedral was in a very bad state, and it was about to be totally transformed. And so when I came here, they had a perfectly dreadful organ, and after I'd been here for 1 month, I was told to take the organ down, which didn't go down at all well with the powers that be, but I was told to do that because a big screen was going to be erected between the nave and the transepts, and so we were going to worship in the transepts, the part of the cathedral that goes across, whilst the builders did wonders with the nave. And so that's because the organ was at that particular point. So we had the organ taken down, and then after a year, the whole the nave was gloriously finished, and we had Princess Margaret coming for the major service, which was very exciting indeed, not least because she was a whole hour late.
Wow, so did that hold up the proceedings then?
It did for a little bit, and then we thought, gosh, we better get on with that without her. And so we did. But anyway, so all that was done, but we just had a temporary little organ. And of course, when you've got a cathedral, you need a big, grand organ. And so there were certain clergymen in the diocese who were very powerful, who said, no, we just want to rebuild the old organ. And I didn't want that. I wanted a grand cathedral organ. And so I made plans, but equally, as I said, there was no money. But the thing is, it was a political situation, because I had been born in Kent and grown up in Sussex, and here I was coming to the north of England to succeed a man who was born in Blackburn, who had been organist of the parish church in Blackburn for 25 years and organist of the cathedral for 25 years, and who was this upstart? Yeah. So my first year was not particularly easy, but the Princess Margaret service went very well indeed, and so the word got out, we think Bertalot's okay.
You're the man.
You're the man to do it, yeah.
But so that was on the Wednesday. Now, on the Thursday, I was just about to go off to teach at the Royal Northern College of Music, where I was part-time, and I was just going past the cathedral door, and somebody said, aren't you going to the meeting? And I said, what meeting? And they said, they're going to decide who's going to build the cathedral organ. I said, oh, are they?
Did you crash the meeting?
So I duly went, and it was one of those moments in life, and I got my way. The bishop chaired the cathedral council, and I said I want walkers with whom I'd been working very closely when I was at St Matthew's Church, Northampton, which had a very fine Walker organ, and I said I want walkers to build the organ, and so that got through. And I said I want Dr. Francis Jackson, who was organist of York Minster, to be our consultant, and so they said yes, fine. Well, that was as far as it went, but we had no money.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds expensive.
Well, the thing was, I had a camera in those days, as I have a camera these days.
Did you sell it?
And I took photographs of before, during, and after the transformation of the cathedral. It turned itself from a sort of chrysalis to a butterfly, effectively. And there was this man called William Thompson, who was a millionaire in Burnley, who had given the equivalent of £1 million to redecorate the nave, and he'd given £500,000 to build the Lantern Tower, which we now have. And I'd taken all these photographs and put them together with commentary and so on, which showed what his money had produced. And the Dean said, why don't we show these pictures to Mr. Thompson? I'll see if I can get an invitation to tea with him. So I said, all right, I'll show the pictures of the cathedral, and you drop heavy hints that we need an organ. Well, the pictures went all right, but the heavy hints fell on the carpet and they stayed there.
Oh dear.
But the other pivotal moment in my life was 2 days later. One of the canons said to me, if I were a millionaire, I would take no notice if somebody hinted that they wanted money, but I might if I was asked direct. So I thought, all right, I will write Mr. Thompson a letter. And I wrote the letter in my best handwriting and put it in a large envelope, and I showed it to the Dean, and he said, I think that will do it. And I asked for the equivalent of £600,000, as one does.
Yeah.
And so I put it in an envelope and thought about it for a bit, and then I walked round to the post office, and on the other side of the road was the Dean, and he just blessed it.
Very good.
And I posted
Did it work? Did the Dean's blessing work?
Well, I then went back home, and I wondered what would happen if Mr. Thompson wrote me a letter. How would I feel? Well, 3 days later, there was this letter addressed to me. Now, I knew his handwriting, can't think why. And I held it up to the light, and I saw inside just one sheet of paper. So I thought, okay, it said, sorry, chum, no. And I opened it up, and out fell a cheque, made to me non-transferable. And I said, this isn't £600,000, it is 600,000 guineas, which is £630,000 if in today's money. And so we had our organ.
Wow.
Mm.
The next 2 or 3 years were planning in detail, and that's what we've got.
Well, we'll talk more about that and the birthday celebrations on the way this afternoon after the weekend, and this is Blinding Lights with Nish and Gilly through the afternoon, through till 4, Bertalot.